Gaddis,
Present.
Commissioner Baidoon,
Here.
Commissioner Palomero,
Here.
Chairman Markey.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none. Next item.
C, approval of the August 8th, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved.
We have an approval and a support. Any questions, changes, comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next item.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Next item.
Item 1, under new business, forwarding the July 2024 report of all complaint calls made to 1-888 road crew.
Okay, this is for July. Any questions on this? All right, we'll take these all together. That's a receive and file. Next item.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of an addendum to a cooperative agreement with Michigan Playgrounds LLC, DBA Mid-States Recreation for the replacement of a play structure at shelter at Parkland Recreation Area in Hines Park in the city of Livonia.
Okay, can we just have a brief explanation on this? And this is actually, I think, in the city of Dearborn Heights, I believe. Good morning.
Good morning, Alicia Bradford, DPS Parks Division Director. Commissioner, this is again a project that we have undergoing, and it is in Dearborn Heights. You are correct. It's at our Parkland Recreation Area. A few years ago, we put in a Parkland connector to improve the connectivity for the neighborhood from Ann Arbor Trail down to Hines without having to get in their vehicles and go down. So it's part of our whole planning process on how we're trying to improve all of our recreation spaces. For this one, we will be putting in a new playscape, and we will be relocating the shelter and making it a larger capacity in order for other residents and users to be able to rent forthcoming. So this is just approval for that cooperative that will put that in, and also part of our planning for our playscapes to improve and put down any of the safety surfacing or the engineered wood fiber to put in place to make sure that we're adhering to the safety standards for the playscapes.
Okay, great. Are you going to be able to do that this summer, or are you going to have to wait?
No, what we will probably do is hold off on the engineered wood fiber. We're going into fall season. When we start having, torrential rains and things of that nature, it tends to kind of wash out some of that material while we have to do a regular replacement. We will start probably the construction of the playscape and the shelter before the fall or winter as the conditions of the weather will allow us to do so. We try to put these things forth a little earlier, but based on how our financing is set up with the approval of carry forwards, we're not able to move forward with projects until late summer, which is really unfortunate, but we'll still have it available for next spring and summer.
Okay, great. Sounds like it's going to be nice. Any questions? Okay, and let me just make sure, so I don't have to have you keep coming up.
Numbers 3 and 4 are mine as well,
Right.
Madam Chair, right? But
Yeah.
they're IGAs.
Yeah, those are IGs. So I don't think there's anything else, right? 3 and 4 are just yours?
I believe so, an inspection of the agenda. No, and number 9 as well. So I may have to come back up if you like it.
Okay.
It's your pleasure.
Sounds
It's
good.
fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Westland for improvements to Hicks Park.
Okay, as Director Bradford mentioned, these are the Commissioner Park millage monies for these parks. This is the city of Westland. Any questions? Next item.
Item 4, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to an intergovernmental agreement with the Township of Canton for continued improvements to Preservation Park.
Okay, and this is replacing a barn that caught fire in Canton a few years ago. No change in the dollar amount, but extension of time. Questions? All right, next item, number 5, and could you read number 12 as well?
Item 5, requesting commission approval of retroactive Amendment 1 to a 3-year disposal agreement with a 2-year option to renew with Republic Services of Michigan 1 to continue to provide a landfill site for the disposal of waste materials from the Wayne County roadways. And item 12 on the addenda, requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment 4 to a 3-year contract with 2 one-year options to renew with Allied Waste Systems, Inc., DBA Republic Services of Southeast Michigan, to continue to provide dumpster rental and trash removal for various departments, divisions, and elected offices.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
You'll introduce yourselves and then,
Michelle Yancey, DPS admin.
Joe Tomasic, Assistant Division Director, Roads Operations.
okay, nice to have you here. So, first of all, tell us the difference between the two. And the first one is retroactive, right? Number 5?
Yes.
Both of them are
Oh, they're both
retroactive,
Okay.
unfortunately. The first one is retroactive due to, like you are seeing 2 contracts with the same name, similar services. When we were amending the dumpster trash removal contract, the landfill contract was not, what's the word? Overlooked. And so by the time we realized that both contracts weren't amended, then we went back to the landfill part of the contract, which is item number 5, to do that amendment.
Okay. So in that, now item number 5 is 175,000
Yeah,
and that's to,
Disposal of waste materials.
from the
Correct.
roadway.
from the roadway. So when we do our ditching and things like that, the debris
Sweeping.
and sweeping, that goes to our landfill and not utilized by the dumpster system for item number 12.
So do you know how many pounds you collected this a year?
I'd have to get back with you on that, but it's a lot.
Do you have your mic on? The little
Yep.
green?
Yeah, Mike's.
Okay. Still hearing you
Sorry.
very well. Okay, that'd be great. Okay, now tell us about number 12 then.
Number 12 is for our dumpster rental and trash removal. This encompasses roads, parks, the sheriff's office, the new CJC compressor that's over there. So this is for our weekly trash removal. And we are in the process, why this is coming back and it's retro, we were in the process of putting this out for bid, but there were delays in the bidding process. The price sheet was incorrect the first time that we received it from the vendors. The second time it was protests. And now we're
Right.
redoing the bids right now, adding some different items to the price sheet.
Okay.
So
and the
it's out for bid
commissioners-
right now.
Yep, okay. Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah,
So-
the new RFP is out to bid right now and
Okay.
it'll start when this expires.
And this contract's 186,000 and
Yes,
change. All right. And the protest letter was given to us and the response was also given to us. All the commissioners have that.
yes.
So, okay. And so this is retroactive because of the same reason. The first one was retroactive.
Well, no, this one is retroactive because by the time the price sheet came back and we were in the process of awarding somebody or in the intent to award, when I looked at the price sheet, it was incorrect.
Okay.
The numbers didn't match.
That's why it's
And I knew Stacy was gonna say, hey, Michelle, this doesn't add up. So I went back to procurement and I said, this isn't correct. And they did a review. Then the protest came.
Okay.
Then we added some other, CJC needed more frequency. The sheriff's office needed less, dumpsters because they were moving. So a lot of things had changed from the first time we submitted this or put this out to bid.
Okay.
So it was some changes with the price sheet in and of itself, and it's back out on the streets for
Okay.
new vendors to submit their proposals.
Very complicated.
It
Okay.
is.
All right, any question? Go ahead. Can you put on your mic?
Okay.
item
on
5.
Item 5, at there any of the waste you pick up, have any hazardous in it?
No, that goes to a certain, another vendor. If we have hazardous waste, it gets picked up and taken, to another landfill.
Not in Wayne County?
That goes, so I'm trying to think of a company's name, but if we get hazardous waste along the roadside, they come and pick it up and they dispose of it. I don't have the name of the company right now, but I can get that to you.
Yeah, please.
Hmm.
Because that is the hot issue now going on, especially
Yeah.
in my district.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so somebody calls. Oh, thank you. So somebody calls to pick up the hazardous waste from
Correct.
the company that you're going to let us know about. Sounds
do.
good. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of an addendum to a cooperative agreement with Kone Inc. to replace 4 elevators in buildings A and B in the Lincoln Hall of Justice at 1025 East Forest Avenue in Detroit.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Gregory Hurst, Director of Facilities Management and Planning. So this item is a long time coming and actually precedes me. This is for the replacement of 4 elevators, 2 at Lincoln Hall of Justice Building A and 2 at Building B.
Okay,
Question.
sure.
Okay, the Lincoln Hall of Justice, what's the future plans for that building?
So as of right now, we have no specific plans outside of the normal day-to-day functions for those 2 facilities. I know there has been the mention of the feasibility coming for the potential as we consider it C3, but the civil justice complex. What we do realize, even with that feasibility plan coming up, if that moves forward and actually starts as we did with the CJC, that would take multiple years to come to fruition. So at this point, we're at
Are you saying so investment is still necessary? for this-
absolutely.
Okay,
We're
and you're
looking
talking about
for-
elevators anyway.
yeah. So we're about half of the elevators are functional. We want to get full capacity for staff at the building.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good, then you won't need repairs for a long time, so that would be good.
Yeah,
All
correct.
right, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Next item.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the Allen Road Grade Separation Project in the city of Woodhaven.
Okay, we have touched on this before, but you want to just come and give us another update? So this is for $10 million. Morning.
This is Sami Kaldi, Director of Engineering, Highway Engineer. This is part of our effort to, raise more funding for Allen Road grade separation. As we mentioned in the past, the cost of this project is going up. It's going to be, like we said, between $55 to $58 million. And we have been working with the state and the legislature. So this is another $10 million coming toward this project.
From the state.
Yes.
So am I correct? The state is given 22 million so far? Is that correct?
Yeah, originally, when they committed to this project around 2019, it was 12 million. And we got the first payment, which is 50%, 6 million. And last time we were here, we were seeking the other 6 million. So that's $12 million. And now they're giving us another $10 million toward that project.
Okay.
And there are other fundings that we're committed to.
Okay. Very expensive. Any questions on this? All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, next item.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of a cooperative agreement with Truck and Trailer Specialties, Inc. to purchase 45 folding frame solar 15 light Arrowhead trailers.
Okay, is there someone, oh, Michelle? Morning again.
Good morning again, Michelle Yancey, DPS admin.
So exactly what are these?
These are the arrows, the lighting, the arrows that you see when you go past a construction site that has you going merging into the next lane.
Okay,
So those are the arrow boards that we're speaking about.
okay.
The flashing lights that tells you to move over when they're doing construction.
All right. This is a My Deal
Yes,
contract?
yes, and
Okay.
we're just replacing ones that have been damaged or have used their worn life, things like that.
Okay. So you're getting
45.
45 and then 15 trailers for them? Light Arrowhead trailers?
They're the same thing.
Oh, they are?
It's
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a 15
I had no
light.
idea what these were. Okay.
Yeah, it's the little light bulbs. They're 15. of
Oh,
them.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Any questions on this?
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
know that this does not have a direct association with the question I'm about to ask, but it sort of
Okay.
kind of I guess was it last month that I mentioned to them, I mentioned to staff or your department about the crosswalk at Franklin Heights, High School, Franklin High School. Just wanted to know the status of that because we're in the budget process and we're looking to actually put a dollar amount in the budget to address that if necessary, and I hadn't heard back.
That's not you.
I'm not privy to the answer to your question right now,
So
but I
I'll
can
bring
get.
that back on the other business.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay.
Do you know anything?
I don't recall seeing that.
I can get an answer to you by today.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, I'll reach out
No, I
and,
remember. Yep.
yeah, I'll reach out and
Yep.
get an answer to you today. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, some of these things are going to be brought up in budget, so it's good that we kind of have a heads up with some of it. All right, next item.
Item 9, requesting commission approval of a sole source contract with Carlton Equipment Company, DBA Bobcat of Motor City, to purchase 2 Bobcat UW56 toolcats for the Department of Public Services, Parks Division.
All right, this is pretty self-explanatory. Does anybody have questions on this one? Okay, next item.
Moving to the addenda, item 10. Requesting commission approval of a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for improvements along Route Road from Oakwood Boulevard to Schaefer Road in the city of Melvindale.
Okay, this is an MDOT project. Maybe you can just tell us the timeline of this. And what is it, about a mile and a half?
Yeah, good morning again.
Good morning.
Sammy Caldi, Director of Engineering, Highway Engineer. Yeah, this project is interesting. They're supposed to be paved by using Wayne County money, but we were able to manage to get it funded through MDOT. Yeah, so that's like you see, it's a big saving to the county. This is a project, it has heavy traffics. And we're gonna do a different treatment rather than just mill and fill. We're gonna do major repair for this road.
Okay, a major rebuild for that?
Yes,
Now that the money has come through MDOT?
yes,
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, questions on this? All right, good work.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item.
Item 11, requesting commission approval of a resolution acknowledging that the commission is the county's approval agency, authorizing the county executive to execute the state of Michigan's notice of intent form and create a materials management plan committee, and designated the Department of Public Services Environmental Services Division as the county's designated planning agency to create a materials management plan that will replace the current Wayne County Solid Waste Management Plan.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Cullen, DPS Environmental Services Division Director. There is a lot in this item, and I'll try to be as concise as possible to give you a summary. 2 years ago, the state of Michigan passed a significant overhaul of the state's solid waste management regulations. One of the elements of the new state rules requires an update to county solid waste management plans. So all 83 counties in Wayne County have been tasked with updating their plans. Wayne County's plan is more than 20 years old, so it's time. There is a change in focus from 20 years ago when we were really worried about landfill capacity and having enough room and space for us to be able to throw garbage away. The focus now is on how can we manage our discards or our trash or our materials in a way that maximizes recycling, that maximizes reuse, and that promotes sustainable development. So in this item, under the new state rules, the rules ask the commission to be what's known as a county approval agency, and also to designate a designated planning agency. And so we're coming to the commission saying, as part of DPS Environmental Services, since we've been in this business for 40 plus years, we would like to act as the designated planning agency on behalf of Wayne County. The commission would still have oversight over the ultimate plan that gets presented, And it also has to go to all 43 local communities for review and approval as well. One of the big differences in this new planning process that we're going to have to manage is we're going to have to develop benchmark recycling standards for the county and material utilization goals. These are items that we never had to contemplate before. Again, before it was like, how much landfill space can we build so we have enough, because there was a capacity crisis. How much space can we build to make sure we have somewhere to throw away our waste? Right now, we have more, we kind of overdid it back in the early 90s, and we have more capacity, far more capacity than we need. As a result, the cost for disposal in South low. And it's a discouragement to finding other things to do with the stuff that we throw away. There's an economic loss in not reusing some of the materials that we're currently throwing away. One of the sad facts about this whole issue is that it's far cheaper, especially in Southeast Michigan, to throw something away than it is to recycle it. And we know in the long term that material recycling and reutilization and reuse is going to become more and more necessary moving forward. Overseeing all of this is the state's goal to increase their recycling rate. They're trying to push to increase their recycling rate, which is right around 20-25% right now. They're trying to get to around 40-45%. And so all of the counties are contributing to that effort through this planning process. So this resolution that you're going to, that I'm hoping that you're going to authorize, the commission will authorize us as the designated planning agency. We have to file a notice of intent with the state of Michigan that we're going to do our own plan. And just so you know, all of the counties around us are doing their own plan as well. There is an option to partner on a regional basis to do these plans, but we really feel strongly in Wayne County, especially, that it's to our benefit to do our own plan. It gives us control over the siting procedure, especially for any new or proposed expanded facility that comes into Wayne County. We have a process now that allows public input and public feedback, and even more importantly, a host community agreement with the city that the facility is located in. If we didn't do this process, the state would write the plan for us. We'd have no say in the siting process, and we'd have no say in whatever recycling standards they would impose on us. In addition to this, we're asking to approve a proposed material management planning committee, which is a necessary element of this planning process. It's an 11-member committee. The state's already defined the categories that have to be representative. There are different institutions that are represented on the committee. You have to have a solid waste hauler, a representative from a landfill, a representative from a recycling facility, an environmental interest group, and on and on. And so we presented 11 names to you as well, folks that we have vetted and that we know that are engaged in this process and who are all pretty excited to get going on this. We have 3 years to create this plan. And obviously we have to come back to the commission for approval at various steps along the way as well. We plan on at some point in the near future, probably engaging a consultant to help us facilitate some of the work involved in this effort. And there's also grant funding available from the state for this as well. It's $360,000 each year for the 3-year planning cycle.
So when you said something about the advantages of Wayne County doing their own plan, so we can set our own standards then?
That's
Okay.
right. Yes, we can create our own benchmark recycling standards. And what we're going to do is we'll take a look at what's working now. What are we doing good right now? Where can we get better when it comes to recycling? And also material utilization goals, which is looking at very specific waste streams and where are there gaps in our current disposal practices that could be improved. One area, as an example, are organics. We don't do a very good job in Southeast Michigan of managing food waste and organic waste in a way that could be better utilized. Food waste, you know, a lot of it ends up in the landfill, but it could easily be composted. There's been some strides in that area locally, but there's a lot more there's a lot more work that can get done there.
And so when you say the locals have to also review this, then the locals will end up being responsible to promote
Correct. There,
that in their own
That's correct.
townships or cities.
that's correct. We have to get approval of 67% of the municipalities.
Okay. And will there be any more associated costs to them as this goes down the road to the locals?
It really depends on what they want to do in terms of, you know, complying with and responding to the goals and standards that we establish through the planning process. In Wayne County, there are very, very few communities that don't have curbside recycling, for example. So we're in some ways, we're better off than a lot of other counties in the state that don't have easy access to services. We have a lot of access to services, I think. I think where we can improve on, though, are providing more opportunities, for example, for people to discard a food waste or organic waste, for people to have better opportunities for household hazardous waste disposal. You know, perhaps, and this is, I'm just talking off the top of my head here, establishing regional recycling centers, you know, that can, that folks can utilize readily.
So that's 25% of the state is doing recycling. Did you say 25%? They wanted up to 40%?
Yeah, the state's recycling rate, which is basically an equation of percentage of materials that get reused or recycled versus thrown away, is roughly 20 to 25% right now, and they're aiming for 45%.
Okay. Questions on this? And so you guys vetted all these, I was looking through the resumes
Yeah.
and they look great.
This is a really big work effort. And
yeah, it sounds like.
and yet at the same time, we're really excited to do it because it's time. And our old plan is getting a little dusty.
Okay, so how often will this committee meet?
It's going to be up to the committee. We're going to propose it at the minimum monthly, at least to start. If they want to meet more frequently, they can. They might, you know, create subcommittees. We're kind of working on that right now. About how all of that's going to look. These are all going to be public meetings as well, so they'll be publicly announced and folks will be able to attend.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead.
So this committee will do regular report outs. So will there be a standard practice, especially since we're supposed to have some oversight, that will automatically get minutes and other communications from this committee?
Absolutely. We will, at the very minimum, provide, you know, meeting minutes from each of these committee meetings. And, you know, we would be happy to come and speak to the committee and the commission at any time about what's going on and how's it going. And there's going to be some steps along the way that we're going to be coming to you anyways, and, you know, just for check-ins and approvals.
So the chair, I guess, will be coordinate having some periodic updates. Yeah.
And have you already are you in the process of contacting the local government officials?
So actually,
What's
one
coming
of
down
the requirements in the state law is once we submit our notice of intent, we have to notify all 43 communities.
Okay.
So, but we have also had through SEMCOG, who's got a regional group, we've had conversations with a lot of the locals already about this process. The ones who currently have, especially landfills in their communities, are especially interested in this work. Yeah, there's been some pre-engagement. Yes.
Okay, and this has to be the intent is September 4th?
Yes, it's September 6th. Yeah, so I think it's the day after commission meeting. We've got everything
Okay.
teed up and ready to go. So we should be in good shape.
All right, sounds good. Any other questions? Well, good. We'll be looking forward to getting the updates. Especially since we all have communities we represent and keeping them informed.
Everybody has trash to throw away.
Yeah, I do. Lots of
You know,
trash.
I think it's long overdue to tackle with this issue. I'm glad. Thank you for your thorough explanation, really. I think it's a step in the right direction. And I hope that would resolve a lot of problem after what happened in the last few days here. And let's see, how this new committee would work.
Patrick, will our clerk staff be doing these meetings?
No, we'll
Okay.
be managing that from the department.
Okay, so we'll still get like an email or something when.
We'll
when
be
it-
notified of all the meetings
Okay.
and I'll make sure that you're copied on all meeting agendas and minutes at the very minimum.
Okay, and these will be in-person meetings?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, well,
And
thank
we
you.
plan on rotating its location, around the county.
Okay.
That's kind of one of our early thoughts as
Oh,
well.
that's good. And then the locals from that area can
Exactly.
come and listen to it.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, well, thank you very much. A lot of work. Okay, we are at the end of the agenda.
You're fine.
I have a direction.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hattis and a support by Commissioner Baydun.
Okay, and I'm blocked out of this again. Okay, any questions before we vote? Should just memorize your password. All right. Okay, then please vote for this whole agenda to move on to full board.
Oh, yes. This other,
Would you like to vote?
yes, my, yes, my went out. There you go.
Motion carried.
It's
Okay,
Through the chair, on that last item, I was just explaining to Commissioner that Commissioner Dobb is a part of the committee that will be established. So the commission will have a voice and representation. And the department did meet with Chairwoman and myself, and we went through this and discussed and looked at the laws and to make
Okay.
sure we were all on the same page and understood.
okay, thank you. I should have asked you that. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Okay, we have a couple.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Patrick Cullen, DPS Environmental Services Division Director again. I wanted to bring to the committee's attention that we have two construction contracts that we presented to commission staff last week. We did not get them to staff in time sufficiently for them to do a proper review to get them on the committee's agenda today. But we will be requesting and hoping and asking that they could be presented to full board next week for immediate consideration. These are construction contracts related to the Rouge Valley sewage disposal system. And the state gave us such a tight timeline between the bid award and the need for the resolution for contract approval. We just couldn't get everything. We tried really hard, but we couldn't get everything to your staff in time to make today's agenda. And the reason it's so critical for it to go to immediate consideration next week is there is $30 million of funding for these projects in low interest loans and $2.9 million of state ARPA dollars that they've committed to the projects, to these two construction projects that are included, but they're contingent upon these contract approvals. So the board would probably recalls that you've authorized bonds for these projects previously. You authorized the project plan, which these projects were included in. The state has scheduled closing for Friday, September 6th, the day after the next board meeting. And they've told us, well, as long as they're considered, at that meeting, then, we should be okay. However, they said if they can't get the resolution, or if we can't get the contracts authorized by that date, that they would pull the funding. So I don't like coming to the commission like this ever. But if there wasn't so much money on the line, we wouldn't be asking for this. They've indicated that the next opportunity for funding would be a year from now. And it would not include any ARPA, grant dollars as well.
Right, and I heard this is quite the contract, like,
Yeah,
8 inches.
It's one of them it's a $25 million contract that's related to sewer lining and manhole rehab. It's critical work that needs to be done on the system. It's mandated by an order of abatement that we have, an enforcement action with the state. It's an impact to public health. It's work that really needs to be done. The other one is a relocation of a sewer in Dearborn Heights that's adjacent to Warren Valley Golf Course that is leaking sanitary sewage into the water course. And so we need to get that taken care of pretty quickly too.
So it's my understanding that Chair Bell has approved for this to go on to Thursday's agenda. So
Yes.
I know you guys will be available to explain everything to the full board.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
And I believe we've answered all questions that was presented to us thus far. from
Okay.
the Commission staff.
Sounds good. All right. Do we have any questions from our side at all? Yes. Okay. All set?
Yes,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. And Commissioner Kinlock, did you want to bring that?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So am I to understand as relates to that crosswalk, you all will get the information back to us? Franklin High School?
Yeah.
Franklin High School on
Franklin.
Joy Road
Yep.
in Livonia?
Yes,
Okay, I had to look it up. The
Okay.
crosswalk. Yes, have it written down.
thank
Have
you.
it answered
And
for you.
I think the request is just like a like a,
Crosswalk, not an over.
not an over.
Bridge, you
Right,
know, for
right.
pedestrian bridge.
Pedestrians.
Yes.
With the lines.
And the lights.
The lights and.
Those are so effective, I think. I mean, we've done some of those in Livonia. Not even with the lights, just those lines are effective.
Right.
People stop before them.
Yes.
I've really noticed a difference in some of the intersections with those.
Now, did you want it know about the surrounding school or just on Joy Road?
My understanding is the community has been asking just that part, and you would know that's your district.
No, it's not. It's actually Glenn Anderson's district.
Okay, Glenn Anderson, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I
thank you.
would find out which part, but I would just ask about the whole facility.
Thank you, that'll work.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
And there were
Anything
some
else?
previous communications sent to you all regarding it. So-
I'm gonna follow up with Steve Shea and our roads department to see where it is and what the status is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next item.
G, public comments.
Okay, anyone here in the room would like to address the Committee on Public Services? Okay, anybody on Zoom? Is there anyone with a hands up?
No hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, and could you unmute people? If there's someone that would like to address the Committee on Public Services, you have 2 minutes. And you can start. Okay, any emails?
No emails were received.
Okay. Thank you. Next item.
Adjournment.
All right.
So moved.
All right, we have approval and support to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.